The Toronto Raptors have added another exciting player to their training camp roster, so let's learn everything that you need to know about Jared Rhoden, and let's confirm if he's really the final player on the training camp roster because things are getting a little confusing. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Production Network, where we give you additional Toronto Raptors content and videos like this. So, if you enjoyed to see, drop a like button. Welcome back to Amateur Sports. Welcome to Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Hour Production Network, where we go through additional Toronto Raptors content and videos like this. Drop a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you enjoy along the way and want to see more, and check out my main channel, Amateur Sports with no number. And today we're talking about Jared Rhoden. The Toronto Raptors have signed another player on an Exhibit 10 contract. An Exhibit 10 contract, what is it? It's your opportunity to make the NBA roster. If you fail to do so, you would get a bonus if you stay with that NBA team's G League counterpart. So for the Raptors, that's the Raptors 905 for Jared Rhoden. He has a chance in training camp to make the Raptors NBA roster. In the, let's be honest, likely event he does not make the Raptors roster for the NBA season, he will get a bonus if he signs for the Raptors 905. I personally, in my time covering the Raptors, have never seen an Exhibit 10 player make the actual NBA roster. Basically, it's just a bonus incentive to sign for the G League team. And hey, you get a summer of working with NBA talent to try and hone in your skills and make yourself better. Seems like a pretty fair deal. So, Jared Rhoden, who exactly is he? He spent a couple of years now with the Detroit Pistons, where he has been mainly playing as a G League player. He does have a certain amount of NBA experience. He's played in 31 NBA games, where we don't gather a whole lot around his statistics. Again, it's 31 games. It's 14 minutes per game, where he's averaged 4.1 points on 45% shooting from the field, or just over that, and 33% shooting from three. It's like 45% from the field, 33% three. It's like the most baseline sort of stat to be like, okay, is there something? I guess we'll see. But he's a 6'6" shooting guard who can clearly score. He's showcased that in 4 years of college ball with Seton Hall. We're in his final year. He made all Big East first team, averaging 15.5 points per game, though inefficient at 39% shooting from the field, 33.6% from three. Overall, not the most efficient player in college. Has tidied that up a little bit in his G League stint, where we have the most evidence of exactly what kind of a player he is. In the G League, you know, it's not been that bad. He's averaging around 45% from the field once again, has upgraded himself to 39% from three, and in the most recent season, averaged 21 points in the regular season. In the Showcase Cup, even bumped that up to 23 points, where he was above 50% from the field last season in those 12 games. So a better sample size for Jared Rhoden there. He is, again, an athletic, scoring 6'6" shooting guard. I don't expect him once again to make the NBA roster, but hey, he has the opportunity to compete for a spot on a Raptors roster, which is honestly like the only word to describe the Raptors roster. It is deep. Like in terms of NBA talent, it goes pretty far into the 15-man roster that you're allowed, but it's not going to be super top heavy with the depth, if that makes sense. So there is a lot of depth, but the depth isn't fantastic. That's the way to describe it here. So it will be difficult for him to make the roster. I don't expect him to do so, but I think this is an exciting player to see play with the Raptors 905 at just 25 years old. Still room to grow and an opportunity to impress for a Raptors team that may end up tanking this season and provide him some NBA minutes later on in the year. We shall see. But the reports that have been emerging about Jared Rhoden since he signed with the Raptors, I've seen conflicting reports. I've seen, honestly, most people saying that this is the final player for the Raptors' 21-man training camp roster. You'll have 21 players in Summer League. You're allowed to sign 15 for your NBA team. You are allowed to sign 3 as a two-way player, so 18 players make the roster, 3 players get cut. But again, if you're on one of those Exhibit 10 deals like Jared Rhoden, if he gets cut, he can sign for the G League team, the Raptors 905, and get that bonus. Anyways, 21 players, but based on what's been confirmed, I count 20. Jared Rhoden being the 20th player and still having a roster spot remaining, and other reports have suggested the same. So I'm not exactly, like, I've genuinely looked into it. I am not exactly sure who the 21st player on the training camp roster is. Like I don't have a fancy graphic here. We're just going to count through these here. We have 3 point guards, Quickly, Mitchell, Shed, 2 shooting guards that I would consider shooting guards, Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter. Don't pay attention to the positions here, but forwards, we have 5, RJ Barrett, Bruce Brown, Garrett Temple, Scotty Barnes, Ochai Agbaji, Chris Boucher. In terms of bigs, yeah, we have Jakob Poeltl, Kelly Olynyk, Jonathan Moba. We just signed Bruno Fernando. But then I have the two-way players in their own category. Brandon Carlson, undrafted at Utah on a two-way deal. DJ Carton with the Raptors last season is back on a two-way deal. Oris Shamshay, 57th overall pick on a two-way deal. Very rare for a player to sign, player in his position to sign on a two-way contract, but there he is. And then I count two Exhibit 10 contracts. Jamison Battle signed on a two-way contract after impressing in Summer League with the Raptors. And as we know, Jared Rhoden down at the bottom here, also with the Raptors now. So we'll make it a little bit bigger here. Where my confusion comes, I had read reports that suggested Tyler Perry was the final Exhibit 10 player. He played with the Raptors in Summer League. Wasn't that impressive, nor did he play a whole lot, which was a bit strange. I haven't really seen complete confirmation on reports that's the case. And then reports came out yesterday that perhaps Quincy Guerrier has signed his Exhibit 10 deal with the Raptors, but it has not been made official by the team. I've also seen that Dylan Disu potentially has signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Raptors. Now, it's possible that perhaps multiple of these players have Exhibit 10 contracts, and the Raptors actually have 22 players signed, because over the course of training camp, it's easy to filter in a player and filter out a player, potentially. If you don't like a player, you take him out, you add in a player, or you sign the Exhibit 10 contract. Doesn't necessarily mean that those players are going to be necessarily with the team in Summer League, but there is an opportunity for the Raptors to technically have 22 players for their Summer League, for their summer training camp. That being said, I don't have any confirmation, nor have I seen any legitimate confirmation that makes me confident that one of these three players is the final player on the Exhibit 10 contract. So please let me know if that is different and if one of these players has been confirmed. But I saw Tyler Perry had already signed his. Maybe that was incorrect, Grammarly. Quincy Guerrier, I've seen, has signed, but apparently, like, the people who reported Quincy Guerrier has signed were also reporting that 21 players are already on the summer training camp roster, so I'm not 100% sure. Another wrinkle into this whole ordeal as well is Christian Koloko, who is apparently nearing a return to basketball. So what would be the situation if Koloko were to come back? Well, again, the situation is it's easy to filter a player in and out. As a reminder that I said in one of the videos on the main channel, Bruno Fernando is likely the player the Raptors want to use in that backup rim protector role. And if Koloko's healthy, then it'll be pretty easy just to cut Bruno Fernando and go with Christian Koloko instead. We'll see when the time comes, if the time comes where Koloko returns to the NBA and chooses, therefore, to return to the Toronto Raptors at the time of his return to the NBA. So the situation, honestly, is a little bit confusing. I don't really have the answers here, but for these Exhibit 10 players, I mean, there's an opportunity here. I am still operating as if there's 20 players on the roster. When the full roster potentially comes out, we'll have confirmation who that 21st player is. But regardless, whether it's an open roster spot, whether there's no open roster spot, there is still ability for the Raptors to move things around and bring in a player they find interesting. That could be Christian Koloko. That could be somebody else that becomes available. But what we do have the confirmation on, what we do know for certain, is that Jared Rhoden is one of the players that is going to be with the Raptors in the Summer League. Here he is. This we do know. Jared Rhoden is with the Raptors. The rest of it, from Exhibit 10 contracts, other than Jamison Battle, I can't say for certain in my reporting to you guys in the video here today, but Jared Rhoden, the main thing we have from this video, is an interesting player to look at for the Summer League, for training camp. I always mistake them. For training camp, and also a little bit with the G League for the Raptors 905 this season. So that'll do it for today on Amateur Sports 2. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want more just like it, make sure you are you're subscribed to this channel. Check out my other channels as well. This is my main channel for more Raptors content, nearly 18,000 subs. This is the best stream clips and highlights from the streams from this channel over here. Here's another video you might enjoy, and I'll see you again next time for more from Amateur Sports 2.